Hi, this is George Alger. Welcome to today's segment of Our Ventura TV. Today we're going to be speaking about the Laubach literacy of Ventura County. And joining us is Cynthia Daniels, who's the president, and Linda Lambert, who is the vice president. Welcome, ladies. And let's just start with the most basic question. What is the Laubach literacy of Ventura County?
Thank you, George, for inviting us here to talk about our favorite nonprofit. We are an all-volunteer organization, and our mission is to teach English to non-English speakers. Our goal is to help people read, understand, speak English, and also to be familiar with American culture.
Very good. Now, does this mean you serve absolutely anyone who is interested in English as a second language, or is there's areas that you specialize in?
I would say we also only tutor adults. We call them adult learners, not students generally. And we work within Ventura County. We're all volunteers.
Very good. And what's the path of someone who could benefit from this connecting up with you?
So we have a website. We also have brochures, and we do outreach through community groups, through churches, public libraries in Ventura County. And also we have a phone number that you can call if you're interested in learning English.
Very good. And Linda, can you touch upon some of the experiences of the adult learners?
Well, I have one young lady that I worked with for about 5 years. She was from Uzbekistan. I know most people think that we only work with people who are Spanish speaking, but she came here from Uzbekistan and worked as hard as she possibly could. And within 5 years, she became a citizen. She learned enough English to pass her citizenship test, and she is now a very successful young lady. Well, older lady.
Very good. Now, how does this actually work? So we can use her as an example, but what does this mean? Where do you meet and what happens?
Okay. Well, there are two paths, actually. We do one-on-one training, which means we work with an individual and we have classes at their convenience. For example, if they're only available at a particular time of the day, the tutor will work with that student at that time. If the student has a problem and cannot meet at that particular time, then we change it. We make it convenient for them to learn. We also have little classes, maybe 5, 6, 7 people, and that is a fixed time each week, whereas the tutoring individually is flexible to meet the.
And Linda, I'd like to add that we also have some standing conversation groups at some of the public libraries.
That's true.
Right now, Ventura County Library, we have groups who meet at the Ventura Avenue Library, at the Sadicor Library, and the Albert Solis Library in El Rio, just north of Oxnard.
Very good. And for someone who might be thinking in terms of, more like adult education that's at the college, is there any overlap or association, or they're just different opportunities?
Well, we've had experiences where the adult education will mention Laubach literacy, that we do one-on-one tutoring and small classes, particularly for people who don't have time to go to adult ed classes, which usually is a longer time commitment, and it's at a fixed time, where with Laubach, we will arrange to meet with you when it's convenient. For example, I have someone I meet with at the Oxnard Library after work, and we meet for about an hour. So we try to get a commitment for an hour to an hour and a half, 1 or 2 times a week. That seems to be a good pace for people, particularly who are starting out learning English. Many of our adult learners already know English, but they may not feel comfortable speaking it or confident in speaking it. But we also have people who are not only don't know English, they're not literate in their own language. They may not be able to read in their own language. So we'll teach beginners from the very start, literacy as well as the spoken language and understanding. They're all different skills.
Very good. Now, as a nonprofit, I'm sure you benefit from volunteers. Can you speak about that?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes, we do a training 3 times a year to train tutors. You do not have to be a teacher. You do not have to speak another language. As a matter of fact, if you don't speak another language, it's even better, because that will force you to speak in English with your student and not rely on their language. And it's sort of a cheat prevention, so to speak. But yes, we work with adults, and we teach them to teach any level of student they may have. For example, we teach them how to work with beginners. We start with pictures and gestures, etc. But then if you have someone who is a little bit more advanced in English, we have materials that we provide to teach reading and writing skills and grammar skills.
Very good. Now, can you maybe comment on the sort of motivation of the volunteers and or what they may derive from their experiences?
I could talk about being a volunteer and why I did it and why I do it. I wanted to make a difference in one person's life. And one-on-one tutoring is deeply gratifying. You build a bond with the person that you are working with. Linda talks about having lifelong friendships. She has students, adult learners, who come back years later to talk to her and find out how she's doing and tell their own life successes. So it's very rewarding to do this kind of work. And I should say also that we do it for free. Our materials are free. There's no charge for the training or for the tutoring.
Very good.
Linda, you want to add anything?
No, I think you've covered it. Yeah.
So, Linda, when you're out and about in the community and the topic comes up about your association with the nonprofit, what's the most common question that you get?
Do you have to do it for a long period of time? I mean, can I just try it? And what we do ask is, if you become a volunteer, that you at least give us a 6-month commitment. If you discover after that time that it's really not for you, then that's good. But we would like you to at least work with our students for 6 months, give it a chance. It's extremely rewarding, as Cynthia said. We see our students on the street. Hi, teacher, how are you? It's wonderful. And the students, the gratitude that you get from the students is immeasurable. I've never seen anything like it. I taught for 31 years in a public school, but these students, as a matter of fact, let me tell you a little story. While I was teaching a class in Ojai here, after every class, every student came up and gave me a hug and said, "Thank you, teacher." After every class. Wow. The gratitude, it's something you never forget. It's true.
When I was going through the tutor training, my first tutor training a few years ago now, watching the board members doing the training and also the other volunteers, I thought, I really like these people. I could see myself serving on the board. And here I am a few years later, and this is my second term as president. So in addition to the reward that you get with the one-on-one tutoring,
yes,
the relationships you build with the other tutors and with the board, we're always looking for interested board members. You don't have to have served on a board before. Lots of different skills are welcome, and we all play to our own strengths about helping this organization be successful.
Well done. And that's a great segue for us to wrap up because we're out of time. So Cynthia and Linda, I want to thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. This is George Alger signing off for this segment of Our Ventura TV. Until we meet again.